Well, hey guys, my name is Hillary. It's great to be hanging out with you today. We're hanging out like this right here. And if I'm honest with you, this is not me in real life whatsoever at all. But Chase and Julia convinced me to do this. And so I just can't say no to them. So this is why I'm here. But what I do know is that we are on our last series for the summer called Clutch Up, which is a term that they told me means something about just, when you're in the game and you want to win it and you're just going to take every ounce of effort and determination you have. You need to just be clutch and take it to the end and to win and finish strong. And it makes me think about, all the best athletes or gamers or competitors, whatever you're doing. They're not the ones that are always the most flashy and cool looking. They're the ones who they've got the grasp on the fundamentals. And that's what this series is all about, getting the grasp on the fundamentals of what it means to follow Jesus and to live out our faith strong and to not lose that faith over the summer while we break, but to finish strong, to clutch up, and to follow Jesus well and keep our eyes on him. So that's what we're talking about. And it all comes down to the mountain walk, which is loving God, loving people, and serving the world. Last week we talked about loving God. That's a great message. Make sure to check that out on our YouTube channel if you missed it. But today we're talking about loving people. And that seems like, a pretty nice thing to do. Maybe we should be kind to one another. Maybe we should love one another. After all, every person is created in the image of God and is deeply loved by God. It has just infinite worth and value just because they're human. And if we want to take God seriously and we really believe God is who he says he is and do what he's asked us to do, then we just got to love people. That's the second greatest commandment he's given us after all. First is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And then we're called to love our neighbor as ourselves. So I love that, and it's beautiful, and it's a great picture of love, and it's really a fundamental of our faith. If we want to be clutch, we got to love well. But sometimes I think it's a lot easier said than done. Sometimes I think, man, do I really need to love all people? What about the people who are bullies and means and who are jerks, like the girl in the 7th grade who made fun of this beautiful mole on my face? Or the boy I remember in high school in 9th grade in the lunch line at school. He made some just ugly and mean and sexist jokes about me while I'm standing right there just so he could get some laughs from his friends. How am I supposed to love people like that? How am I supposed to love the people who are doing just terrible things in the world, who hurt children and abuse children, and who take advantage of the poor and exploit them? Like, man, God, how am I supposed to love them? That is so hard to do. And then I think, oh man, do I have to be best friends with everyone all the time? That's like, that would be a lot of work trying to be best friends with everybody. God, am I supposed to do that? Is that what it means when I'm supposed to love people? And I don't have all the answers to those questions. I actually probably have a dozen more questions. But here's what I do know. We have an invitation from Jesus to love people. That's so countercultural, so opposite of what our instincts might have us do. It's having faith over fear. It's being kind over getting even. It's forgiveness over revenge. And yeah, there's important things in loving others about boundaries and, not surrounding yourself solely with people who are going to bring you down. That's not what we're really talking about. What we're talking about is the beautiful invitation from Jesus to live counterculturally and to love the way we see Jesus love people. Oh, I see a question's popped up here. Let me check this out. Okay, Greek Freak 64 asks, why does Jesus really care about the way I treat people? Well, I'm so glad you asked, Greek Freak 64. Let me tell you, John 13:34 through 35. It's a passage in the New Testament. It's in one of the Gospels, which is where in the New Testament where John is recounting all of Jesus's life, his story, and he quotes Jesus here. It says, "Everyone will know you are my followers by how you love each other." Those are words straight from Jesus. Everyone's going to know. If you call yourself a Jesus follower or a disciple of Jesus, then we got to take Jesus seriously because he's saying everyone's going to know if you're really following me or not by the way you treat people around you. And even if we're not really sure about Jesus yet and we're just kind of curious and maybe we're skeptic about this Jesus guy, well, we might want to consider just the countercultural love that Jesus is talking about and how inviting and beautiful it really is. There's another New Testament writer, an early church leader, Paul. You've probably heard of him. I hope you have. He's the Apostle Paul. He talks a lot about this in his letter to the Christians in Corinth. Hundreds of years ago, he's saying this about love. He's saying love is patient, it's kind, It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast. It's not proud. It doesn't dishonor others. It's not self-seeking. It doesn't easily get angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but love rejoices in the truth. It protects, it trusts, it hopes, it always perseveres. And I don't know about you, but when I hear that description of love, I think, man, I want that in my friendships. And I'm so grateful for the friends that love me despite all my quirks. I got, kind of bad taste in music and not a lot of fashion sense. And I drive really slow, but my friends have this unconditional love for me that's rooted in Christ. And I want to be that type of friend too. And I want to have that love to share with others as well. I don't want to have records of wrong. And I want to, show that kindness and forgiveness that Paul talks about in the way that we love one another, that just treats people fairly. And that's so countercultural to just the way the world works, I think. When I think about, the people I know who don't have Jesus in the center of their friendships and relationships, the norm looks like jealousy and cancel culture and ghosting and talking bad behind people's back. And all that just hurts. It doesn't build anybody up. It tears people down. And that's why Jesus' love is the best kind of love. It's a love that is unconditional and true and beautiful and good. And he's shown each and every one of us that love, even if we don't believe it fully yet. I hope this is your invitation to really believe that fully and to know that Jesus loves the world. He loves all people, and he loves you, and he loves me. I see another question popping up here. Hold on. This one is from Tacos for Life 24/7. And they say, I heart tacos. Well, hey, I heart tacos too. That's not really a question, but that leads me to my next point. It's we say that often, like, I love tacos and I love cats and I love, what else do I love? Pizza. Oh man, I love pizza. I don't love basketball. Sorry, Zach. It's my husband. He loves basketball. It's my least favorite sport. But whatever. What we're talking about here, we say all those things. Like, I love this, I love that, I love that. But the love that Jesus is talking about is different. It's a transformative love. It's a all-consuming, unconditional love. The Greek in the New Testament, which the New Testament part of the Bible was written in Greek, it's got 4 different words for the word love. And we only really have one English word. We've got love, that's what it is. But the Greek word here is agape. And it's this unconditional love. It's the love that empowers us. It's the love that God has for us and for all creation. And it's that love that Jesus is encouraging us and filling us up with so that we can love others that way too. And as followers of Jesus, that's the best 2 things we can do with our lives, is to love God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, everything in us, from the gut, from our head to our toes, and then to love our neighbors as ourselves. Because after all, Jesus, he says we love because God first loved us. And when I think about, people in my life are just really good at loving other people, I think about my sister. Her name is Emily, and she's just really cool. Growing up, it's like, man, I wish I could be like my sister. She rocks. She's had to go through a lot of hard stuff in her life. She dealt with bullies who were mean. She had a period in her life where she was like, oh man, you just didn't quite fit in with different folks at school. And she experienced great friendships abruptly ending, and not by her choice. And the beautiful thing that I just love so much about my sister is she was always committed to showing up and forgiving and for just being an unconditional friend and loving well. She knew how to set good boundaries, and her confidence was in God's love for her, and she knew that her worth was found there. But she just knew what it was like to show up for people, to cook them a meal, to bake them something yummy, to send that text, or to check in, or to just be dependable. And when I think about, oh man, what it looks like for Jesus' love to pour out of someone to others, I just think about all the ways my sister genuinely serves not only her best friends, but sometimes her enemies, and just all the people around her in all the different ways. Ultimately, Emily is just trying to be Jesus to others, and that's ultimately all what we should all be wanting to do as we are loving people. And I think that's what we can do too. And that's our invitation here as we want to clutch up and we want to finish strong this school year, and we're heading out to summer. We want to stay committed to Christ. And part of that is loving people. So what does loving people look like? So first, I think it looks like this. I think it looks like holding on and reaching out. Holding on. What does that mean? Holding on means just staying connected to one another. Remember this community that you're a part of here at Groups. It's so important and crucial for your faith, being around like-minded people who are doing the same thing. We're just all trying to look more like Jesus together. Christian community matters so much. You always have a safe place to be known and to know others, and you've got awesome adults who just love you and want to see what's best for you and for you to grow in your faith. Loving people means holding on and staying connected simply by being a caring friend, checking in on each other, hanging out, shooting the text, whatever that looks like. To stay connected and to encourage one another and to build one another up with your words and your actions. So hold on. And second means to reach out. Yeah, you're reaching out to your friends you're close with who also love Jesus, but reach out beyond that. Reach out to friends who are so far from Christ. We're called to do that, right? We're called to love everybody, our friends and our neighbors and our enemies and anybody in between. Love everyone. So reach out to your friends who might be going through a hard time, or who might feel lonely, or who are just don't have the hope of Jesus in their life yet. Be that hope for them. Be that light for them. Reach out to them and help them see the love that Jesus has for them. So we're going to hold on and we're going to reach out. I hope you continue to follow Students on all social media. Make sure you're coming to CIY if you can, and stay plugged in to see all the fun events that they have planned for this summer, and get out there and serve. Be the church, be the hope, be the love that Jesus has for others. Show up in your community, whether you are playing video games or on the soccer field, whatever that looks like. It's always an opportunity to be a loving presence of Jesus to others. So remember, the world will know that you are followers of Jesus by the way you love those around you. So be genuine, love people, hold on, and reach out. And my last thing I want to make sure you know, it's hard to love other people if you don't believe and trust God's love for you first. So I hope you know that. I hope you know that God's love is for you. I hope you know that you have nothing to prove. You are worthy of God's love. You are created in God's image, and you are His beloved child. And so believe that, trust in that, own that, know that, be rooted in that. And so that God's love for you just is poured out to all those around you. Let's love one another together. Let's hold on, let's reach out and make a conscious choice to love people.